Hello. I know this is a controversial subject, but I think that it's important to talk about this. I mean, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this, and it's kind of a little bit late and everything because they did this last week and they did another podcast yesterday. Well, almost 2 days ago now because it's close to Friday, but um, when I say death, I mean more than one thing. Um, the little death, the killing of the things that we don't better ourselves. And another reason is because it's something someone was talking about with like trauma and everything. Lord, anyway, the whole point of this is let's talk about the actual death, the death of us and us going somewhere else or not going anywhere. Um, we'll start with that first. A lot of people are afraid of that, and me, I'm not. Death never scared me. I mean, hello, I've already died 3 times. First time was when I was a baby. So I see death a different way than most people do. Now, the third time that it happened, it did scare me. I think it's because I was aware of things. The 2 other times, it was when I was a child and I couldn't quite grasp. But once you go through that and you do come out the other side, you feel differently. You don't experience it the same way you used to. At least that's what I think. I mean, there's some people that would probably disagree with me, but see, they brought me back and everything. I didn't die for very long, but they did have to bring me back. And the third time was my fault. By the way, I'm not going to go into the whole thing about that. If you know, you know. If you don't, it's a little too personal for me to talk about the whole. I'm not saying that people that talk to me and everything in my on here aren't great and everything, but talking about the whole yourself on the internet, other people can see it and it can be held against you. Even what I'm saying can be. I am. Hello. Um, hey. Um, But yeah, we're talking about all of them. From spiritual death to actual death. Right now, I'm talking about actual death. But like I said, I'm not afraid of it. It's kind of like something the person that was just on the podcast talk about. Once you go through the scariest thing that ever happened to you, you your outline on death changes. You don't look at it the same way. If you can go through the thing that scares you the most, you tend to be okay with death. And my biggest fear always has been and always will be, I want to be remembered. I want people to actually mourn me. I know that sounds kind of stupid and everything and ill conceited, but I want to leave a mark. I want my life to mean something. And the last time I tried to unalive myself, I had plenty of people that came to see me while I was in the hospital. And if that's not showing me that I have people that will mourn me, nothing will. Um, I think death is inevitable. We all go through it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say and everything. But we all experience it. Sometimes people die before they ever die. And that's a big thing with me. I don't want that. I don't want to be with someone that, and I felt that way. I don't know that there's anyone that hasn't. What I mean by that is they feel numb, they can't cope with what's going on, and sometimes that's a good thing. I mean, it helped me to get past things that I needed to, being numb and not feeling anything. It it actually happened after I tried to unalive myself. Um, People always put negative on the fact that you're numb, you're a zombie and everything, but sometimes I think that that is a good thing. I mean, of course, it's kind of like this death. People don't want to talk about it, and I don't know why. Especially in our culture and over here in the states, they it's something to fear, and I don't agree with that. I don't think you should fear it because it's all gonna happen to every last one of us, and no matter how. And here's something else. No matter how bad you are, when you may go through pain and trauma and everything else when you are going to leave this world, but at the moment of releasing, when you actually do it, it's a peaceful thing because you can't be in pain and do something. So I know, as I mentioned, the fact that, like I said, I've died 3 times. I know what it feels like. You do not have pain at the moment it happens. The last time it happened, I can't remember anything that happened to me for 2 damn days on this side. I do remember what happened to me while I was not here. Um, and yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I think people should more embrace it. Here you go, people. This is what I'm trying to say. Um, Sorry, I'm rambling on. Uh, Everyone can talk about what they believe death is, and I know that I said I know what I know. I'm not one of those people that thinks I can never learn. And even if I believe one thing and nothing else happens with that, and I don't stop believing, I could still hear you out and thanks, Chad. I I suppose that part of me doesn't want to feel pain and everything, but I brought things back with me when I did the things I did, and part of it is being able to see how I die. And most people, no matter how much they say that they're going to avoid it, I'm not doing that. I feel as strong as I did then when I was shown it. The thing that kills me ultimately, I do it 100 times over. It would not stop bother me because it's something that I care passionately about doing. I won't get into that. But most people can't go and do that stuff. They try to run from it, no matter how much they say that they can handle death. I'm going to be honest, and this is probably something that I shouldn't feel like and everything, but there are days when I feel like I want this to all be over with. Because nothing can be as bad as what I go through now with the pain and the feeling like I'm lonely at times and everything. I'm not feeling that way right now. But well, except the pain. Um, I I hurt every day. It ain't an exaggeration. Some days are worse than others, but right now I'm okay. The whole thing is I welcome it. I really do. I and talk about hard subjects for me, and it is. I mean, me telling that I accept it and everything. There are parts of me that don't like it. I mean, I don't want to hurt anybody. me being out of this world. Um, but with that said, there is a part of me that wants it. Um, so therefore, it doesn't scare me like it does other people. Let's talk about the death of other people around you. I've had a lot of people in my life that have went on and are no longer with us, and some of them I didn't want them to go. I still have a few people in my life that I know are going to probably go before me, but I don't want to see that happen. And yeah, Jack is he don't like me upset. He is my baby. I felt I've talked about this before on my friend's channel because they wanted to know what was going on with me, and I told them that I've been depressed and everything. And I finally am starting to feel better because I talked about it and everything. And I talked about it on here the other day too. But because of that, he's been extra close to me. He's been laying on me. He's been sleeping beside me, and he used to like to lay on my feet, but he's not done that. He knows me well enough to know that if he wants to give me comfort, he has to lay right beside me. And if for anyone that gets upset with me about letting doggies sleep with me, don't be talking about that. I try to. I learned a long time ago that I have a hard time with lies, and they're just not worth it. Lies get you nowhere except people not trusting you. Of course, me being honest and truthful hasn't got me hardly anywhere either. It gets me in trouble all the time because people don't like it. But I am who I am. Okay, thanks for coming. Um, okay, let's see. Where was I at? Oh yeah, podcasters that I was listening to were talking about the, the death of the ego, and one of them brought up something and everything about you can't kill your ego. And the other person was talking about people saying that they don't have an ego. I never thought I did. Now, hear me out. When I hear ego, I ain't talking about what the person that said did about your ego is your is you. Well, I kind of do have an ego, but let me explain something before I get into it. When I think of ego, I think of the whole I'm better than you. I don't. It's the whole um, being superior and everything. That's what I think of the ego is. The part of yourself that puts your nose up and I have done that, but for the most part, I'm not. Um, but the way the person said, I'm not saying that. I'm gonna go into it. I get mad and I get very passionate when it comes to people thinking that they're better than everyone else, and then my ego comes out, and I'm the first person to say this. I will. I'll start talking to them, talking down to them, and they know it because they're my family. And I only have an ego with them. Um, I even got asked, "Why do you think you're better than me?" I'm like, "You have hate in your heart, and I don't. I don't like bullies, and so yeah, I'm better than you because I don't do that crap." And in that way, I don't think that that's a bad thing. It goes into what that the person I was talking on the podcast was saying. We have these mechanisms that's in place because we need them there. And I try to not be someone that goes off on people, but you push my buttons, I'm going to show my ego. I'm going to act better than you because you are an ass. Now, I know that people don't believe that about me, but I'm very passionate when I get pissed off. Unfortunately, I that gets me in trouble too. But I and maybe I do have another side of my ego that I do things and stuff. I don't know. One day I hope I do if I'm doing things that makes me have an ego and stuff. I try not to be. And if I come across, I don't mean to. I mean, you piss me off and you're a bully or you're someone that sticks your nose up to everything and everyone that doesn't have something you do, like education or money or saying something. I always say, we all bleed red when we get cut. And if you can't realize that, then your ego needs to go down, and I am the one to do it to you. There's parts of me that I do think need work. Just, yeah. Jack is on a mission to get his rawhide. He's been a little pain in my ass. He's trying to mess with my cover, make my legs hurt. I can't believe the whole thing about you speak from your heart and everything. A lot of times growing up, people didn't they didn't believe me. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that this culture is like we all lie. We all say things that are not true. But I can't be anything but who I am. I have to be honest. I have to be blunt at times. Uh, I'm getting off topic. Sorry. Um, but what is that? What does it mean for our body to die? Let's talk about that. Okay. Everyone has a different interpretation, especially if you're not Christian. And Christians have one set thing that they say is you either go here or here, and but for the rest of us, it's a little more gray area. I think it's the dissolving of the human skin and everything. And I see a lot of people talk about death and everything, and they talk about what happens and everything, but I don't hear anyone talk about this part of it. I think that when we die, we our life flashes before us, and we know everything that we're ever going to know in that moment. All the secrets, all the acknowledgement, because we don't have this vessel that keeps our body, our mind, our spirit from figuring out everything. Another thing, I think that we reach a higher level of consciousness, and it's kind of is what I was saying a minute ago, but and we go back to whatever creator you want to say or into the ground. No, we may go into the ground, but I don't believe it. I can't. I've seen too much to believe that we just become dust. It's fine if you do. Maybe one day I will, but I just have a hard time grasping the whole thing of it that way. I think we all become one collective consciousness. I also think that there's a place that we go to, um, which sounds kind of weird, but hear me out. I think that we all come back, and every time that our human bodies die, we go up to there, to the collective unconsciousness of everything, and then we are reborn until the time comes that we descend that because we've learned everything we need to on this earth. Um, and then we go to the place that's whatever you want to call it, Valhalla, heaven, the afterlife. Um, to coin a phrase from the Bible, the collective unconsciousness basically is purgatory, but not in the way that people see it through the Bible. Um, it's a waiting place. It's somewhere that we all go to and we stay there for so long and everything. I'm an ex-Christian, and it's always going to be ingrained in me the whole Bible thing. And while I don't believe everything, there are things to it that I do agree with. The reason I didn't stay with it is because And there's plenty of people out here that do this, but I'm not going to be one of them. You have to believe your whole heart with whatever your faith is. You put your whole chest into it. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be practicing that religion. Ultimately, none of us really know, but there's my interpretation of what happens and everything. See, like this, when you're doctrinated in and you've done it pretty much all your life, it's hard to go back from the whole being Christian thing. I do think that I'm more at peace with what I believe now, and I think that's the most important thing. Feeling like it's the right thing. Okay, let's talk about the other death. Okay, there in tarot card there is the death card, and this is the easiest way to segue into this. The tarot card is all about the death of you, um, mentally, the death of something happening to you, um, something that in your life that needs to go. And for a long time, they thought that that card meant that you were actually going to die, but I never did. Um, but yeah, what is the death of you spiritually instead of actual death that you go through and everything? It is letting go of things that don't serve you. It is all about transformation into the best you. Now, you don't always have to do that. You don't have to transformation yourself, but I think for some people that it's a good thing to do that, especially if you're like me and you hold on to things too much and you don't let go as easily as you should. Not to say that if you go through things, you have traumas in your life that there's a set time. What I'm saying is there's a click in your brain that says you've done this enough. This is time to go. I'm not talking about people telling you that because it's none of their business how long you take to, let's say, grieve over something. Um, I'm a firm believer that people shouldn't be telling people that because we all deal with things differently. And in our culture, here goes back to the culture thing, we bury every damn thing just so we can go to psychiatrists. If we were open and we let ourselves express it and then let it go in our time and people didn't shame us for it, we wouldn't need as many psychiatrists as we do. Sorry, but not sorry. And it gets back to a TV show that I absolutely love, um, American Horror Story. And the season is Murder House. Dr. Harmon is talking to one of his patients. His name's Tate, and he said, "It's all bullshit. We keep having you come back because we get money and everything, but we all know it's all bullshit. And 90% of therapy is." And I really believe that. I mean, what good is talking about how you feel and everything? There's a point when silence is better than talking. I mean, there's a reason silence is golden. And I know that term is used in witchcraft and everything, but it applies to everything. Knowing when to shut your mouth and not say a word about things. But they either want you to be unemotional and bury everything, or they want you to run your mouth and talk about the things that you are going through. And there's things that shouldn't be talked about. We shouldn't give ourselves away completely to any other person. And it's just not. And there's reasons why. And I'm going off on a tangent, but here goes. Um, the You spread yourself too thin. If you let even one person, usually if you're willing to let in one person in, you let everyone in a damn way. But they can use it against you. And while we don't like to think about that, we don't think telling somebody, it can hurt you. You should never completely trust somebody because, and trust me, I know, even people that I know are my friends or people that care about me, um, they sometimes they get mad and they point out things that I've said. And talking about your deepest, darkest fears isn't always a good thing. Not to say that talking to them to a psychiatrist isn't. I mean, it can help people. I mean, but there's people out here like me that look at it and I'm like, just really work. Oh, let me explain something. When I say psychiatry, I'm not saying that knowing yourself, talking about it doesn't help. There are plenty of psychiatrists out there that have a different method, but the leading method of doing psychology and just talking about your feelings and everything doesn't always work. Usually doesn't. And and if you are like me and you get state run insurance, you can't afford to go to the ones that do that. Cause me, a lot of reason I healed is there's this person on YouTube that talks to different people and they wrote books and they talk to people and talk about their books and everything, and that really helped me. Listening to them reading the books and stuff like that. A lot better than going to a doctor and talking about the whole thing. Because I go to mental health, and that's state run. Because I have a psychologist, and she will talk to me about the things that, and it's not common practice to do this, but she will talk to me about the things that I talk to her about and everything, and about the books that I read and everything. But she knows me well enough because I've known her a long time through the mental health system, and she realizes that doing it the way she does it for other people isn't going to help me. And she even told me that. She says I have to approach you a different way than I do a lot of other people. There's a few of you out there that I have to do it a different way, but um, she talked about going to school and everything, and them telling you this is the handbook, this is how to do it. She said, but I've worked in the field for so long, and that book doesn't always work. And I am not going to tell you their name. Um, yeah, I just don't think that that's right and everything. Point trying to let's go back to what I was saying. Well, sometimes doing mental health is good for certain people, but you have to figure out how you do it. And if you can't do it that way, what do you want? Oh, crap. My hair. Sorry about my hair. I got on here about 20 minutes after I woke up. So, just like my favorite movie sleep all day, party all night. Well, it's a quote from Lost Boys, but it's not really true. I don't party. Sometimes I think I'm boring, but everybody tells me you're always doing stuff. How can you say you're boring? I listen to music, I dance, I do all this stuff alone. I read books, I watch movies, I watch YouTube. I just think that it's kind of boring. I play with Jack. Say hello, Jack. Um, Now I do this in the daytime. I haven't in the last few years because the heat wave is way too much. And no, I'm not having that. I'm not going out and tending to a garden when I could end up in the hospital. Um, I have asthma, and Every time I go out into the heat when it's really hot and humidity, I pass out. It doesn't matter how much I've been drinking that day. Don't matter how much food it's got water in it contains. But if the heat gets to me and I start coughing, I go out like that, and I know it. For my sanity, I'm not doing it. It ain't happening. And if you're like me, don't go out in the heat. This year alone, the weather got up to over 100 every day for 2 months. And I couldn't even be out in the 80-degree weather. I knew I couldn't be out in that damn 100-degree weather because no way. But yeah, sorry. I have ADHD, which means my mind goes all over the place, and sometimes I run my mouth and waffle on about things today too. But get back to what I was talking about: the death of the ego, the death of yourself, and everything. Yeah, but whole thing is if you sometimes it's not a bad thing to do it, and then there's other times that it is. I mean, how far is too far? It's kind of like I've seen people that want to change and everything, but everybody talks good about it. But for example, I knew someone. They're no longer with us. I'm not going to tell you who they are to me. Let's just say family. They wanted to kill their subconscious, and so they like to drink. And it only got worse and worse the longer that they went on. And it's not who, for some of y'all that know me, who you think it is. It wasn't my mother. Um, but I have a lot of people in my family that are addicts or former ones. Um, you see, here's a reason why they are that way. They It's okay to drink. It numbs your pain. It gets you out of whatever you're thinking about, and that's better than sharing your feelings. And that's my family's outlook on stuff, and not all of them. I mean, I would have never went to mental health or went to psychiatrist if it wasn't for my grandmother. So, and my dad went to them too, and my mom's side of the family, they encouraged it. Whatever heals you is important to do. That was their outlook on it, and yeah, so they would do that. Even though I said mental health is sometimes a joke and everything, I do think that going to a doctor and talking about your feelings is actually a good thing to a certain extent. Um, you just have to find the right one. Mm, some of us don't have that luxury, but and yeah, a lot of people say that you should and everything. I don't necessarily think that you have to. I mean, I think that if you take this, the whole thing with what I was talking about earlier about my friends and everything, they helped me a hell of a lot better than me ever going to things. And if you want to go through, let's say, like shadow work, as long as you're anchored to something, to someone that can help you to feel better afterwards, if it's emotional for you, I think that's really all that matters. You just gotta know. And I'm always being asked, um, do you have people in your life that you can go to if you can't talk to us? And these are my docs. And their questions that are on their tests and everything. Because used to they didn't see this as something, but now they encourage people to have people in their lives that they can talk to and everything. So yeah, I told him I did, and actually remember that when I'm feeling upset and everything, because I can't call the 1-800 hotline because I don't feel like it's a crisis. I mean, I'm depressed that I feel alone. Um, I think that it's better served to people that actually want to unalive themselves, as it were. Let me see what else. Um, I but you really got to figure out what serves you best. And I'm not saying this as somebody that is a witch. I'm not telling people that are witches to do this. I'm telling everyone. It benefits you greatly if you have traumatic problems and you've suffered and you've got depression and stuff to go through and figure out how to best deal with it. Not to bury it like every damn body else seems to want to do in the Western world. I don't agree with that. I don't. Instead of us encouraging people to bury ourselves down, whatever emotion we're feeling right at that moment should be the one that we act on. I'm not saying go out here and kill somebody, but the root line cause of that emotion is anger. Let it go. I don't mean bury it. Scream at the top of your lungs. Do something that's angry and everything. not something that's bad. Unless, let's say, like you're in a fight with somebody and they hit you, you have every damn right to put your hands back on them. But don't hit somebody because they pissed you off by words. Um, and I know that for some of us, it's easier said than done because back when I was a teenager, I used to do it all the time. People pissed me off and I get suspended from school because I went and decked someone or came after them with scissors and got called Terry. um, but yeah, they locked me in a damn room so I couldn't get out, and it was a small confined space. And I can be in a small room, but if I can't get out, I freak the hell out. Even still to this day. I'm gonna have to unpack why I feel that way. It's gotta be more than just me getting locked in the bathroom at the hospital. Another time, no. But anyway, I just think that we should embrace whatever feelings come up in our bodies and everything at the moment it happens without going overboard about it. There are things that you shouldn't do that come up inside of you at that particular moment, but you can wait on them. But I'm talking about anger, sadness, joy, being happy, all them kind of emotions. The ones that are expressatory, that aren't emotions that lead to physical things. Um, well, my throat is starting to hurt and everything, so I'm going to get off here. Thanks for watching. Forky SCP. I hope I said that right. And Dead Gaming and Super Gamer 2. And anyone else that came and watched me that stayed in the shadows. And if you're on the replay, okay, thank you for watching. Um, Remember, be the person you're meant to be, not the one that everybody expects you to be. It really goes into what I talked about today. But have a good day. Okay? Day, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time it is for you.